Welcome back, soulmates. So this is the continuation of the last video we posted on making a bustier off-shoulder blouse. So this is the cutting of the patterns in on the fabric. Okay, adding your sewing allowance, half inch on all the sides except the side seams, which is 1 inch. Of course, you can add your own sewing allowance as you desire, but the other side should be half an inch, shouldn't be more than half an inch. Okay, while the side you can add up to 1.5, 1 inch. 2 inches might be pretty much, but then you can still decide to do whatever you choose to do. Okay, so you cut your fabric, placing your patterns on it, and we'll proceed to the next stage. So while cutting, make sure you have good lines, like as in your sewing allowances should be equal, right? Your sewing allowance should be equal. Don't allow any part to be bigger than the other, except if you're adding 1 inch on one side, let it be 1 inch on the other side. So I've gone ahead to add my stay and on all the pieces, and then my wording on the front part. You can see the way it is. I used a soft wording, and I'm going to put them together like so and join it, starting from the hem, yeah, starting from the lower part. It's also possible to start from the upper part, right? Whichever way, just make sure you join it very well, and it's definitely going to come out very well. I'll also join the other side to it. And this is the front. This is how it is at the front. You can see the way it's cupping. So I expect yours to be like this. Now this is the side, so go ahead and join the sides, join the back side, using our sewing allowances, and make sure everything comes out very well. Okay. Sewing is not that difficult. Once you get your patterns right, the sewing is not something that is very difficult. It's something that you can actually do. If you cool down and do it, it's definitely going to come out so well. So I'll just put this together and sew on half an inch, because this is not the side seam, it's the dart, right? So this is for the back side. We're going to put it together to the side and join using our side seam allowance. And one thing that makes your dress or whatever it is that you're making to come out so well is the ironing. So after joining, we're going to take our time to iron it. So that aside, this is the sleeve, right? This is an off-shoulder sleeve. Now for this upper part, remember we did -5. So actually it's supposed to be -5. The main fabric is bigger or longer by 2 inches, and then it's equally wider than the lining, so that we can gather it into the lining. So at the upper part, instead of 5 inches, that is what we minus from the blouse, I'm going to be adding extra 2 to 3 inches, so that we can have something to gather at the sleeve sleeve upper part. The fabric is not that much to gather so well using the sample. So whatever it is we have, we learn to manage it. For the depth of the armhole, you do your -5, and the remaining will be 4 inches, and that is the 4 inches we have there, right? And then at the across, we mark our bust circumference divided by 2. So in case you're going to be folding it down, you also lower it a bit, so that once you fold it, you still not be short of fabric. The lining is going to be cut this way, but the fabric is not going to be cut like that. Make your the lining is going to be cut as normal sleeve, but the main fabric is not going to be cut that way. Okay, this is the lining. and then the fabric will be as straight as it is, right? So we're going to fold it over this way, as in join the lining and the fabric, gather it because the two of them are not on the same measurement at the lower part. So we're just going to gather it inside and we're going to see the outcome. So this is the outcome. Because of the shortage of the lining, you can see how it's folding the main fabric inside. You can reduce the size of the lining too so that it gathers more. Okay. So at the upper part too, I'm going to create a space so that we can pass the elastic in between or sew it in between, whichever way you decide to do it. You can either pass it in, join it to the sleeve, or just sew it to the main fabric while you draw it as you're sewing. So it's just to make a casing if you want to insert it inside. But then the lining and the fabric is supposed to be turned to give it a neat finishing. So the elastic is the amount of the how you want it to be tight on your shoulder. Since we did -5, normally it should be 10, 5 plus 5, but here you can choose to minus like 2 inches so that since it's elastic, it will be very fitted on you. Okay, so after this now, I'll just sew it to the main fabric or either top stitch on it and then join to the fabric to my blouse. This is how it is. I hope this is even making sense to you. Please, if you've watched up to this part, kindly subscribe to this channel. So we're just going to attach the sleeve to the main fabric, keeping an allowance of where to join the lining to the main fabric. You can see the way I'm folding, this is where to join the lining. So once you keep that allowance, you join the remaining parts to the other side. You can see the way it is. So it's time to turn it to give it a very neat finishing. We're going to be turning with lining every part so that it looks so beautiful. Turn the armhole, turn the neckline. You can see the way it is. And then we'll flip it over and everything will be properly sealed and covered. So I'm just going to sew it the way I've shown us here. So once we're done with that, we're going to fix our zipper. And of course, turn the zipper area, turn the hemline, keep an allowance where we're going to bring out the main fabric inside out. Of course, you're sewing on both sides. Make sure you're sewing on the zipper but not on the teeth of the zipper so that it covers so well. I've sewn the hem. So on this other side, you can just sew to half of the sleeve of this part so that you can have area where to bring it out from. So this is the outcome of what we have, looking so beautiful and pretty. So beautiful. You can see how the inside looks so neat. So I hope you do your own finishing the same way and let it come out. It gives so much joy when you finish your dress this way. Inside out looks so beautiful. So I hope you learned something from this video. Please kindly give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to this channel, and we'll have more beautiful and interesting tutorials coming your way next time. So thank you for watching, and see you in our next video. Bye bye.